So I've been meaning to go live for a hot minute, but now I can. And wanted just to talk to you for those that have asked me in my DMs about why marketing consulting, even why become a fractional CMO. And I'm going to just say marketing is an art, and it's an art that has never stopped. And it it's crazy because it's the art of getting people's attention, from getting attention to make people fall in love with you to where hopefully they buy from you. That art is hard every single time. It's not a guarantee that you're gonna find someone over and over and over to continue to buy from you, unless you do a really good job delivering on the marketing side, on the sales side, customer service side, the product and slash service side, to just making sure that everyone has a good experience, both on the team, the internal, the company, to the customer, from the customer to the people using it. And so I started in the nonprofit sector, and it's funny because people think like, how did you go from nonprofit to marketing? Well, I started to learn quickly that the largest grossing organizations, which are the professional sports leagues, all started off in the nonprofit world. And it's interesting, very interesting, how they didn't want to give up their tax exempt status until like they had to. So when I was in the nonprofit world and I was just learning all about the nonprofits, I'm in Portland, Oregon. And at the time when I first started, like 20 years ago, Portland, Oregon had the most nonprofits per capita in the country, meaning that there were more nonprofits in Portland for like, you could drive to one, it was every 15 minutes, like Starbucks, you could find a nonprofit. And really weird how there were so many nonprofits, but we didn't have a lot of large public foundations. Now, up north, maybe Seattle. What's up, Mahi? We're talking about marketing, and right now I'm talking about the nonprofit game of how they turned me into marketing, of how, in regards to how the nonprofit sector kind of built up the way we kind of look at in the way, like you said, like an NFL game, and how it's sponsored and there's events. That's how a nonprofit is done when you look at a gala and everything. Hey, Fluff's Playhouse. That is why I went into marketing, because when it came into me starting a nonprofit agency to do fundraising, you're asking people, sometimes pulling on their heartstrings, right? And they are obliged, they feel moved, they get emotional to want to donate. And I was doing that over and over years for my own nonprofit. And when I started to do that for other nonprofits, I was like, man, I'm pretty good at this. And someone said, Nathan, you should create your own agency, because they were coming to me asking me how to start their own nonprofit. I was writing grants, and after years of being rejected, I started to get my grants approved. And so when I was helping this one client, one of my peers say, can we please stop saying we're a nonprofit agency and say that we're a marketing agency? I was like, oh, okay, yes, we can. And from that point, I started to go into the marketing realm. And marketing has so many different facets and lanes. You know, you have print, you have where you have that side of it. You know, you have public relations, you have advertising, you have creative, you have copy, you have all different marketing out there. And it's different for everybody. At the core of marketing, you have both art and science. And I think it's hard for a lot of folks that want to go into marketing and they want to get going, but it takes some time for them to understand that at the end of the day, especially all my clients, that they are not the customer. They are the founder, or they are the producer, or they are the principal. They are the creator. They are not the customer. So we can say, my creation, I love my product, I love my service, or I love all the things that I do. But I'm not buying it. It is the person that is buying it that can tell me why they fell in love with it, or why they bought it, or why they like it. And so, Roblox Gaming, what's up? It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've seen you, my man. And so, when it comes to marketing, I went into marketing just because I started to see the difference of when someone doesn't have customers to where they do, it changes the game, it changes the business. And Roblox Gaming is going good, my man. I just talking about marketing and why I went into marketing. It's going really good. Missed you on my Friday lives. I'm glad to see you right now here on the live. So how's it been going for you? And so when it comes to, thanks, I'm glad you love the videos. I appreciate the likes, appreciate the follows and subscribers, and all the shares, because I see y'all are sharing it. I forget, you gotta tell me where you're at. And so one of the things that have kept me going with marketing is that marketing never stops. I define it as an untamed beast that never stops consuming. And if you ever stay up late at night, after a while, you start getting the munchies, you start getting real hungry, you want to keep feeding and feeding, right? That's marketing. The content never stops. That's why they say in marketing, content is king. Like in business, cash flow is king. Marketing content is king. And you never know who's out there watching. I think when we start putting out content for, especially like when we start doing videos or social media, people want to see high numbers. But at the end of the day, you're working on getting that one person to say yes, that one person to engage, that one person to say, I'm interested. That's marketing. But when my students say, and I love this because I teach college level marketing from intro to advanced marketing, they're like doing a flyer and they're like, man, I thought we were going to be doing marketing. I'm like, this is. But the marketing part is data. It is the psychology of it. It is the persuasion of understanding how to get people to say yes. For those that are still here or watching, I appreciate you. Tell me, what is the best buying experience you ever had? And the reason why I asked that, well, what's the best buying experience you ever had? This is my daughter saying good night. I love you.
Dad, seriously?
Come give me a hug.
You could have just you didn't have to say
I know.
that.
So
My
one
daughter
second
saying
before
good night.
I guess say good night.
Love
Good
you.
night. Love you too. Mwah.
See you in the morning.
Okay.
Don't come in.
Okay, I got you. And so the best buying experience for those that can actually type, I want to love to hear your best buying experience. And this could be a travel thing. This could be a candy bar. This could be a video game. What is the best buying experience you ever had? For me, one of them is when I bought my car. My first car, my last car, anytime I bought a car, because that whole time I'm excited that I'm going to something that I didn't have to now I have. And part of why for me it was one of the best buying experiences was I already knew what I wanted. I just now needed someone to fill that void for me. And that's what marketing does. Like the place I went to is kind of funny. That was a place that I worked at. I have a Honda Pilot today. And so, but one of my first cars that I thought I was going to buy was a Toyota Camry. It ended up being a Pontiac Grand Am because I didn't have any credit. I just joined the Marine Corps. So they were happy that I was in the Marine Corps. They gave me a chance to earn the opportunity to get a loan. So they said, good news and bad news. The good news is we can approve you for your loan, but we can't approve you the loan. Bad news for the car that you want. I'm like, what? Like, seriously? Man, I was kind of hurt. But I was like, hey, at least, and I tried to do the right thing, take it to somebody that knew, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was like, you either want this car or do you not want this car? I'm like, fine, sure, good. Signed the paperwork, and man, I loved it. And all that was me continuously seeing the message that they were the ones that had a vehicle for me, AKA they had what I want. That's marketing. How do you stay top of mind when someone needs something? Now, there's different types of products and services. Like there's, unfortunately, when your car gets towed, there's tow. When someone dies, you have those services. Some things you don't need to promote for. It's just a matter of fact. It's gonna happen. You need it when you need it. And so, when it comes to the very thing that I see that I know I can move the needle on with companies is helping them understand where they're not getting the conversions. So we have the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. And the top of the funnel is where people are getting to know you. And there's lots of different terminology. I'm just keeping it really simple. And this is, again, why I love marketing. This is where people get to know, like, and trust you. And at the very bottom where people continue to buy is because they love you. And sometimes we don't even realize that we are in love with this product or service, AKA it could be like a Prime, it could be a Netflix, it could be a golf membership, and you continue to buy. It's just because it makes us feel good. And as long as you can afford it, it's not a bad thing. But when it comes to marketing, that's the very beginning of the process of the relationship with the company to where we move from a marketing to a sales. Then we move into the relationship of hopefully we have that repeat. So I love to answer any questions of when that's y'all on here. I appreciate you being on here. Love to know where y'all from. But when it comes to marketing, why I love marketing, I wanted to put out a video because I get people from my students, from people on LinkedIn, Facebook even, they're like, hey, Nathan, why did you go into marketing? Tell me a little bit more about your story. And so I'm just going to send them this video because and now if you're watching this video, it's because I'm talking to you. I went into marketing because I saw when someone didn't have a client or a customer, and when they did, it changed their business. Not only did it change their business, more importantly for me, it changed who they were. They felt really excited. They felt happy. They felt glad. They felt satisfied. And you know what? Now that I really think of it, it's like they felt like, oh man, like this stuff works, right? Like sometimes you put out a product, especially young entrepreneurs or startups that have not had any major success. They're still testing the market. And they don't know if their product is going to work or if their service is actually something that is going to be bought or sold. And so you have to test the market. You have to get that data. But depending on the area you're getting, you might not get a lot of data. You might not get sales. So how do you put yourself out there? Because the worst part that you could ever, the title that you do not want any part of is being a best kept secret. There are a lot of great brands out there. I should say there's a lot of great products and services out there, but we don't know about it because their marketing sucks. Their promoting sucks. Their relations on, I would just say on these platforms suck. They just don't put nothing out there. That sucks. This is what, Mr. Kingo, you put number 61. If you're still on here, what's up? I don't know what 61 means, so you got to clarify that. So why I love marketing because I get the opportunity to move the needle to help people in their struggle of helping others where they can't find them. We all have this certain passion to be great at what we want to be great at, but the other parts of the business, including marketing, is just hard for people. And it's not about, I want to completely dispel a myth of, well, you're just extroverted. A lot of marketers are very introverted. And yes, I may talk a lot. Right now I'm talking, but I'm not a yapper, but I do like to yap. I do like to talk. But a lot of marketers that I know, great marketers, they're very introverted. And it's because there's part science and there's part art. Either way, when you combine the both of them, it's a gorgeous amalgamation. I can't say that word. Amalgamation. I can't say the word now. Combination. Let's just say that of where when you get, let's just say like the Super Bowl halftime. That is a great blend of a product and service coming together of a presentation that is art that we know people are going to watch, they're going to engage, they're going to love, right? That is understanding that there is the science behind it is we know that there are people that want to watch the halftime show. They could care less about the game. People are there to watch the artist because they are in love the art, the music, the vibe, the rhythm, the frequency, right? We know that there's a science to it. And we know that entertainment sells, right? The data shows that when you have more entertainment, it sells. So you have to find something that sells that people will stay glued to, that they will continue to watch. So that's another very shiny example why I use sports in all my examples when it comes to teaching, because in sports, we get to see that it's a competition that's happening, but it is entertainment at the highest level because you're seeing athletes perform at a very elite level to where, like, where can you see that at, right? It's a business that sells, but how are you not gonna watch that if that's something you love to do? You are gonna watch it. The marketing for it doesn't have to be very hard, but then it has to be packaged correctly. That's another part of marketing. So if you're interested in going to marketing, you just got to find the things that make the most sense. I think what I love about marketing that has been difficult for me, that has allowed me to grow, is just how there's never a point in time where it's going to get bored. Now, I love marketing because I know I can move the needle and I can help people find customers to when they don't have any, and I help them get unstuck to where they are. And where they're maybe at or where they're from, because sometimes it's just up here. That's could be where a lot of it is. Sometimes it's here because we have our own trauma. We don't know how to get out of its own way. 61 is a meme. Okay, thanks, Roblox, and appreciate it. Oh, kind of like 6'7", got you, fam. I appreciate you, man. It is one of those things where with marketing, the hard thing is keeping up with all the nuances and the memes, right? Because I don't know the demographics that I'm talking to out there until they say, I'm this type of person, these are my interests, this is my background, this is what I want out of it, and this is how you help me, right? When somebody can answer you all those things, and that's the good old question of when someone asks you when you bought something, how'd you find out about me? They're just trying to find out what worked and what didn't work. If there's some, hopefully that's what they're asking for. But sometimes people just genuinely want to know. It's crazy how many opportunities business owners have to promote their business, put an ad out on their business, to share their business out, from directories to books to publications to magazines, ads, videos, sponsorships. It's straight up hard. It's straight up hard. So when someone asks you, like, how did you hear about me? Oh, that's how you heard about me. In college, when this one college that I went to school at, Clark College, and where I first started teaching at, one of the best places of promoting anything, it was in the bathroom, in front of the urinals, or on the back of the door of the toilets. They when we asked people, how did you find out about these events? They were like, oh, I saw it in the bathroom when I was in the urinal, or when I was the woman would say in the bathroom, because they had it on the back of the stall. So I think sometimes you don't have to overthink it. Just put the information where people are gonna see it, and you're gonna be golden. I think that's where, like, when I was saying in the very beginning, where we like to overthink things because we love it, we're impassioned about our product or our service, but people that are buying from you, they just want your product or service to solve a problem. Kind of like my car. I just wanted a certain car initially so I can have a car, so I can have some freedom. But the vehicle I have now, it was super important for me to ensure I had 3 rows, because I have a large family. I want to make sure that we could all fit somewhere and only take one vehicle. So it's more so when we go into like the super deep marketing algorithms of like maybe SaaS, software as a service. When we talk about a CRM, like a customer relational management tool, kind of like what you see on Amazon, where they start keeping tabs on you, where you see like a tag of like your cookies are being traced and tracked. That is where it is very, very intentional, not as a one-time thing. This is where they're trying to figure out what you individually like. What do you buy? How do you behave? We call these psychographics. And that's just because mass marketing is done. We all have one of these things called a phone, right? And so doesn't matter how many people are in the home. We can I forget who comes out with the data, but it shows that in the data. So you say kind of like stocks. Tell me, go a little bit further. But we say that in that every person has, they say, 2 mobile devices. But your question intrigues me. So kind of like stocks, of like where we all have the ability to buy our own stocks. Especially you can buy stocks over the counter. Yes. You don't have to be at an employer or be an employee to say, I want to buy this 401k package or this mutual fund. These ETFs, you can do that over the counter with some of these financial institutions that have these platforms set up to where you sign in, you connect your bank account, you can create your own portfolio. It's just that simple. Now, all that being said, should you? I don't know. It's up to you. It's how you want to go about it. But when I think with marketing, my wheelhouse, my area expertise, the best way I started to learn was podcasting. And I'll spend a little bit of time here because podcasting got me to a place where I was helping myself. As I was trying to help my clients, I was helping myself more than I was helping my clients. Every time I wanted to quit my podcast, because I started off doing social entrepreneurship, someone would call me like out of the blue, someone from Australia, someone from Texas, someone from New York. They're like, Nathan, I love your podcast. So I was like, oh, do you? You actually listen to it? And it's crazy now because I can show you that my podcast is heard on all over the continents, all continents. And so podcasting for me was my proof, my social proof that not only did I know what I was talking about to my level of what I say I'm an expert of, because I'll tell you real fast what I don't know, what I don't have any expertise in, because there are people way smarter than me. There are people that know a lot more than me. They have from patents to designs to campaigns, awards. I don't have all of that. I don't have any of that. But I know what I know. And podcasting allowed me to start talking about my experiences, and then I started to talk to other people. One of the very first people I spoke to that was like a big name that got me into podcasts was John Lee Dumas, JLD. His was the podcast is Entrepreneur on Fire. I put in my information. I said, "Can you come on my podcast?" He's one of my first ones. And this was, good God, this was like 9 years ago. He came onto the show, and I was like, I'm gonna blow up. No, I didn't blow up. But from that time and that moment, I was like, okay, I could do this. But then I started to have other people on here, and as they were spitting game, I was kind of picking up what they were putting down. And from there, I started to use those tools or resources, that knowledge. And then I was like, oh, okay. Like my first client was from a Google ad that this client was from the other side of the country. And as I started to learn more and more, I was like, okay. And as I kept doing the podcast and continued to talk through what I've learned and how I've helped people, then it would be like, oh, okay, I do know what I'm talking about, right? I had to ask the question, do I know what I'm talking about? But this is why I wanted to share why I'm in marketing. And I get this question all the time. At least, like, I just had someone call me a couple of weeks ago and say, like, why did you go into marketing? I'm like, well, honestly, I feel marketing found me. Marketing found me because I was, when I was starting off, I would get people, like, I would have a meeting with someone and they would ask me questions like, Nathan, like, I wish I could go back and say, like, man, why couldn't you just tell me you didn't know? But they would send me to different people, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna send people to other people. If I don't know the answers, I'm just gonna tell them. And maybe I didn't do that first because I felt like I was name dropping or whatever the case may be. But from there, I was like, hey, I don't have the answer. But this was, again, 20 years ago. We didn't have the cell phones like we do now. We didn't have the internet buzzing and banging like it is now. We didn't have AI like we do now. But I can tell you, like, the best way you can go get your answer is by talking to people. You can sure you can watch videos and everything, but you want feedback. You want to engage and talk with people. So when it came to my podcast, it was during the pandemic where I made the shift. And in that shift, I sort of said, or my title was Social Entrepreneur with Nathan A. Webster. I turned it into Let's Talk Marketing with NDub, and NDub, Nathan N. Webster, W. That's how we got Let's Talk Marketing with NDub. And it was during the pandemic, early in the pandemic, like early 2020, that I went from social entrepreneur to marketing, was because people were concerned with how they were going to connect with their customers and their clients, because early pandemic, we stopped doing networking. So they were like, how am I going to promote my services? How am I going to get people coming through the doors? And I started off with working directly with restaurants. So majority of these restaurants didn't have a Grubhub, a Uber Eats. Matter of fact, Uber Eats wasn't really really strong in our community. They just got the green light, I want to say maybe 6 to 12 months earlier, to start coming in our city and getting relationships. But it was an additional 30%, and I think that still may be the case, an additional 30% if for Uber Eats to get into a restaurant. And they were like, Nathan, I can't afford an additional 30%, especially in food restaurants, from spoilage and waste. Food is expensive. You may only have 5 to 20 tops 20% margin on food. And so they were like, I can't get my product on Uber Eats or Grubhub. And Portland had Postmates at the time. They weren't here in Vancouver. And so at the time, websites, there was like maybe like 1,000 templates. Let's just say out of 100 templates, are you into any sports, Roblox gaming? Yes, I am. Into any templates, there's like 1 out of 100, like 1% were e-commerce. So at that time, that's how I transitioned into marketing. And so, oh man, you look like you'd be very good at football. I used to play football. I was good. I was good for high school, but I wasn't. I could have played college, but I was lazy. I now play golf, and I wouldn't even say, I'm good. I'm not good at golf. I'm barely at 100. Like, I just shot 104 today, so I'm not that good. It's called a double bogey golfer. But when I went on to, when I did go to, starting with my average, so my average is about 100. I started golfing about 4 years ago. So that's not bad, but it's not great either. I lose about 2 balls a game. And so just to wrap up why I started to focus on marketing, especially with the podcast, what I started to find was people started to reach out to me and say, hey, especially my clients. I didn't even know my clients were even listening and paying attention. They were like, hey, man, that's a really good podcast. You're teaching me stuff. It's like I don't have to pay for the retainer, but I'm getting this knowledge for free, and I really appreciate that. I'm like, oh, okay, you're listening? Again, like a lot of people that were listening to me, it was just listening. Nobody was coming back to me and saying like, oh man, I loved your podcast. But when they would find out and they're like, hey, I heard you do podcast. I appreciate, you saying that helped me out. I'm like, oh, I had this one lady stop me at a gala at the Oregon Convention Center, and they were like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm one of your faithful worldwide listeners. I'm like, oh, hi, what's your name? And we started talking. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Matter of fact, I can end, let me, oh shoot. Sorry, y'all. Didn't mean to do that to y'all. Let me just show you my podcast. Let me show you my dashboard, because I'm not a big name podcaster where I get like 10,000. I get like, I think I'll probably get like, here, I'll show you. I won't even tell you. I'll show you. This is how many downloads I've had of all time, over 23 downloads. And like, they've changed the algorithm, so this is a little bit different. But this is how many downloads I had this month. This is how many I had this week. The stats are a little bit different, but I'll still show them to you because I appreciate every single folks that come on here. So, so this year I had over 4,000 downloads. That's how they get viewed, as downloads. And this is kind of like how, sorry, I need to look at and make sure I do this right. So as you see, green is the first 7 days. Then it gets into like the IAB of where like, it's not any bots. And here's the last podcast I did. I have 11, 17, and as you can see, our podcast, I'm on 284 episodes. They come out every Monday. And if I just hit the total of, you can see how, oh, will it do it? Maybe not. I was gonna try to show you how many I had total. It's not gonna show me that, but I do want to show you, yeah, it's not showing me that. They changed the stuff, but it's kind of crazy. This is what I wanted to show you, the top countries for the downloads from, the United States. Brazil is my next. The United Kingdom, Cambodia, Canada, India, Spain, Bangladesh, Argentina, Pakistan. What I love doing though, and there was a time where I was just right here in the United States. I don't know, hopefully you can see that. Let me just do this right here. And you get to see like, okay, that's the United States, obviously, then Canada. But then you get to see like South America, like Venezuela, Brazil, Peru. Got 2 in Peru, none in Bolivia, 3 in Paraguay, 17 in Argentina, 3 in Chile. I got Algeria 1, Libya 1, the Congo, Angola, Zimbabwe, no, there's none, Botswana, South Africa, Kenya, Saudi Arabia, Russia. I was like, wait, someone in Russia, Ukraine is listening to me? Belarus, Poland, Germany, France. I was like, what? In Spain, as you saw, Kazakhstan, I can't even pronounce these. China, India, Thailand. Thailand and Cambodia has always been popping for me. Philippines, Australia, like I was saying. And that's where I was like, man, when I started doing the podcast, it was just the United States at first and Australia, because I was talking about nonprofits. They call those social enterprises as social entrepreneurs, social enterprises. That's really big out over there. And so when I was doing the podcast, I didn't only saw like just a little bit of the maps show up, but then I was like, oh wow, like I'm starting to get more hits and more hits, but I never started to take my podcast serious until this year. So now I'm starting, like, that's why my map is kind of has blown up, but A big podcast, I'm in the 90% where I get less than 100 downloads per episode. But I do get people to follow up with me to say, Nathan, I appreciate it. I heard your podcast, and I would love to come on. Or I get other marketers, and of course, if somebody wants to come on, can you not do that, please? I have my daughter in here. She's like making it loud. And then from there, it just has helped me framing my story, which is right now I came on here to YouTube. So I just wanted to share why I went into marketing, why I do a podcast, now why I'm on YouTube. I just love helping people and helping people in this day and age, especially this way, connecting with people. Here's the last story. And this is, still to this day, it's kind of crazy how it's happened. But one of my best friends that gave me a business loan, his name's Jerome. I met him through a third party on Marco Polo. We Marco Polo for like 2 whole years. And I had a family reunion. He lives in, I want to say Dallas, Texas, I think it is, or did. He's all, Texas is so big. That's a big state. And so a lot of driving, a lot of back roads. Oh my gosh. Anyways, it so happened, I arrived and they lost my luggage. Well, I was letting him know, and he was like, "Oh man, shoot, I can get your luggage." I'm like, "No, don't do that. You don't need to come out of your way." He says, "Look, if you came this far, I can meet you halfway." And so, the power of technology. I used to think oh, it's not that big of a deal. Even my boo thing, my bae, Grace, she's in Kenya. She is in Nairobi, Kenya. Well, Kiragoya, technically. She's in Kiragoya. And I used to, I'm an old guy when it comes to technology. I love technology, but I didn't believe that you could really connect with someone through technology. And you could say, well, that's marketing. Sure, yeah, it is. But it's not the marketing that I'm into. I don't connect people in that regards. But I found one of my best friends, Jerome. I still stay in contact today. We used to Marco Polo. Now we go back and forth on TikTok or WhatsApp or text messages. And we got families from significant others, kids, just day jobs, to my significant other. The power of technology is real and you can connect. And so I definitely do not undervalue it. It is a powerful tool that I think we don't really appreciate. And I say us older people, we don't appreciate it as much. And so now that as a marketer, I can use these things to not only promote my message, but I can promote other messages as I'm learning with the app. Roblox, I know you've been on here for a hot minute, man. I appreciate you. And I was missing you in the last couple of, I think you've been gone for about a month. So I was like, man, I hope he's good. I hope he's okay. I ain't seen you for a hot minute, but I get it. We're on separate time zones. So, hey, Wayne, you're back. Yes, you are. I'm just about to get off. You just came on here. I'm just telling folks why I came on here for to be in marketing. It's good to see y'all. I'm glad I came on to do a live. I'll be back on Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm going to just be talking about my last week. Of course, from being an entrepreneur, you got the highs and the lows. As they say, don't get too high in the highs or too low in the lows. And I'm going to try to find a spot to where I can have reception this whole time. But I appreciate you. Man, y'all back. I'm happy to see y'all. I miss seeing y'all come through. I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate the likes and the follows and the subscribes and the shares. I appreciate it for real. I know you all said that y'all donate. I haven't got enough hours of views yet. we're working on that. It's just a matter of time. So I appreciate your support coming in here and saying what's up and joining me. So y'all, I wish y'all nothing but the best. Thank you for rocking with me. I wish you many blessings. Until next time, dream big and Godspeed.